Talks, Episode 5, Rockfall, Mitigation, and Scaling. I'm Laura Estrada Adams, Strategic Communications and Outreach Coordinator for our Caltrans team here in headquarters, Sacramento. I'm super excited to co-host this webinar and introduce you to our awesome guest today. So if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. And if this is your first time attending CT Talks, thanks for joining us today. Either way, let us know where you're joining us. We'd love to see that in the chat. If you can't stay long today, not a problem. This is going to be recorded and everyone will receive a follow-up email with a recorded link. This webinar today is going to be really fun. It's going to be a little bit of talking and a show and tell with footage from our panelists. During the webinar, please use the chat to put your questions in there, as we'll be pausing throughout this webinar and passing those along to the panelists. So next up, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Harriet to do an introduction.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, welcome everyone. We're super excited. This is episode 5, Rockfall, Mitigation, and Scaling. Really, really thrilled to get this one to you all today. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our panelists for being here. This is going to be a really exciting episode today. So what are you in for? Some of you that have already been tuning in, you already know the deal. But those of you that are brand new, we're going to hear from 4 amazing panelists today from Caltrans, hearing about their experiences and their insights. And as Laura mentioned, they're going to have some show and tell elements as well. And so for those of you that don't know, we always send out a survey afterwards. We ask you to ask a few short questions to give us feedback. Thank you, first and foremost, to everyone that submits your survey feedback. We love it. Really, Laura and I, it makes our day, doesn't it, Laura? Like reading through those comments. Yeah. And everyone's so positive and appreciative. So we couldn't do this without you all. So thank you for the encouragement and enthusiasm. But also thank you for the feedback. We want to make these better and make this a much as impactful as possible episode for you. So your concerns were we don't get enough time to ask our own questions. We always get really wrapped up in the conversation and we're left with 5 minutes at the end to like grab a couple questions from the chat. So we hear you. We're going to give you that opportunity today. So we have a few questions prepped, but throughout the webinar today, we're going to be checking the chat for some great questions. So please, if anything comes up, anything that you're interested in learning more about from any of our panelists, please throw it in the chat, and we will do our best to get to as many questions as possible today. So that's a new change for this episode today, and we're hoping that you enjoy that. So again, thank you. We couldn't bring you these conversations without connecting you. So we're here to connect you with the people of Caltrans, and we hope you have fun today. So who are we hearing from today? We keep talking about these amazing panelists. We have Anthony, Matt, Wendy, and Rudy. Say hi, everybody.
How you doing? How's everyone going?
Hello.
Hello. It's looking a little tame in the chat here. Let's throw out some emojis. Those of you that know how to do it, clap them on. Give us some love. We really encourage interaction. So whenever you feel inclined, throw them a positive comment. They're doing a lot by stepping up here and being interviewed live for you all. So really throw out the love. We really appreciate them, and we appreciate you appreciating them. It's like this wild cyclical cycle. That's great. Anyway, so to introduce you, we have some short biographies to share a bit about their careers. And with that, I'm going to kick it to Laura to get us started with Anthony.
All right, awesome. So I'm going to start with Anthony. Anthony Quiroz is a culvert inspection supervisor here at Caltrans, and he manages District 12, which is in San Diego, culvert inspection program. Anthony started...
Laura, sorry.
Yes?
Orange County.
Oh, sorry. My mistake. My mistake. I'm new with Caltrans and still learning all the districts. There's so many districts throughout the state, so I apologize. Orange County. So... yes, so Anthony started his Caltrans career in 2006 as a landscape maintenance worker at the age of 19. He worked his way through the ranks of maintenance before accepting a supervisor specialist position in 2017, where he transitioned from an operator in the field to an inspector for maintenance engineering branch. In 2019, after Senate Bill 1 was established, Anthony was tasked with transitioning and developing the rapid expansion of the culvert inspection program for field maintenance. In addition, he is currently leading the development of the rock climbing program and UAS, Unmanned Aircraft System, aka drones, program within the Division of Maintenance. Thanks for joining us today, Anthony.
Of course, glad to be here.
And next up, I'm going to hand it over to Harriet.
introducing Matt today. So Matt is currently a Caltrans senior engineering geologist and has a degree in geology from San Francisco State University. He joined Caltrans District 4, which is the Bay Area, in 2008 as an engineering geologist in Geotechnical Design West, where he contributed to advancing complex projects, including bridges, tunnels, landslides, Rockfall, and Rockfall, such projects include the Devil's Slide Tunnel, Presidian Parkway, and the Ferguson Landslide. In 2020, Matt promoted to Senior Engineering Geologist Specialist in Geotechnical Design South, where in addition to working as a rock climbing instructor, he oversees emergency response and landslide rockfall mitigation. Welcome, Matt. Thanks for being here with us today.
Hello, everybody.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead with Wendy. Wendy is our next panelist. Wendy Conway joined Caltrans in the Division of Right-of-Way in 1989. It was approximately 1 month before the Loma Prieta earthquake in San Francisco. After 18 months, she joined the Division of Engineering Services Materials Department, where she has spent the last 33 years of her career. So let's show some emoji love for Wendy. Wendy was promoted from a service assistant delineator to transportation engineer technician, and then to her current position as a materials and research engineering associate. She finds the most rewarding duty is participating in the statewide climbing program as an instructor, climber, and rock scaler. It's great to have you here today, Wendy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, and last but certainly not least, I've got Rudy Figueroa Jr., who is a highway maintenance lead worker. He started his Caltrans career in 2016 with the Division of Maintenance as an Operator 2 for the Stormwater Unit. He came from Orange County, where he was a 16-year heavy equipment flood control and mountain operator specialist. Within his first 3 years with the department, he was promoted to maintenance lead worker for District 12, which is Orange County, in the Culvert Inspection Program, CIP. Do you guys call that KIP or CHIP, or do you have any? Okay, the CIP. All right. In his 5 years with CIP, Rudy has been involved with the UAS, which, as Laura said, is the Unmanned Aircraft System, aka the drone program, the Public Information Office Special Events, and the Rockfall Climbing Program. So welcome, Rudy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
All right. And now we'll kick off with our first question.
Quite the intro.
Before you get started, Harry, I did put in the chat, just encouraging everybody to throw your questions in the chat, as we will be pausing after the first question and everybody gets a chance to answer. We definitely want to take a look in there and see if you have any great questions for the panelists.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So as we said, this is all about you guys. Get your questions in. But for now, while we're waiting on some audience questions, we want to ask to you all, and since we've got Rudy and Anthony kind of sitting together with some really cool props in the background, so we want to ask you all, how did you Rockfall, right, into this career? Like, what intrigued you about this, this kind of field, and how did you get into it?
You want to go first? I'll go first. It's funny that you put it that way, fall into in Caltrans, because I started with Caltrans 17 or 18 years ago now. I had just turned 19 years old. And I kid you not, up until the day I reported to work, I had no idea what Caltrans was, what my job duties were going to be. Probably because I didn't read the duty statement. I mean, just as
when you apply.
So click here. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, as far as like the organization and big picture, I really didn't know anything about it at all. I had got a recommendation from a friend to apply. He's like, hey, it's a good job. You'll know you're not gonna get rich, but you'll comfortably raise a family. He's like, go apply. So I did, and I was young. And, ended up here for a lifetime career. But no, I mean, it is what you make it. I just, got my eyes on promoting and got my Class A license to become an operator. So actually, to give a background, I started as an entry-level maintenance, so worker in landscape, promoted to operator, did some stormwater special crews, guardrail, and then really found my passion when I, caught eyes on the culvert inspection program, went for a position for a specialist inspector, and then got tasked with building this incredible team here, and we've been running since 2019 as a group. And then, I've been climbing for quite a while. I think I've been certified as a Caltrans rock climber for 11 or 12 years now, but we never really had a team in District 12, just due to circumstances, workload, and everything like that. And I was kind of pushing to get more guys involved, and that's where Rudy comes in. Rudy's one of my direct reports, him and Angel Perez. So we got them through the training with Wendy and Matt. They run they're instructors up in King Vale. And now that we have a team, we just had some excitement, and we, did a little presentation for the virtual fair, caught some eyes, and things kind of started rolling from there. But it's been an incredible journey for sure.
And it definitely sounds like you guys found a need and made it happen. I know that's how we first got in touch with you all, is all the noise you were making about this new team being established. So no, it's fantastic. And it's great to get this information out to people. Like, we had no idea. Laura and I are like, so that was another question. We're like, so surely, you all are rock climbers, right, in your spare time? Well, like, obviously, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. We all have our primary jobs, our primary duties, and rock climbing is kind of just another hat that we put on from time to time. Other districts have a bigger need than others, and some, climb more hours. Like I know Matt and Wendy, they climb a bunch, and we love to help them out every so often. But here in 12, we have a couple of cliffs and, areas that have need for rockfall mitigation. But yeah, so we're just excited to develop our team here in 12. We got our cool little tools behind us, drones, and these robots are for our culvert inspection program. But yeah, I don't know, I'll give it over to you.
Yeah, Rudy, let's hear from you too. Thank you.
Well, my story's not as long. But, so I started in 2016, and I walked into Caltrans as operator too. And I was actually talking with Anthony earlier. Is I still remember the first day I walked in the office and met him. He was only like 28 or 29. And he realized at that moment he wasn't the only fit guy in the office. So I thought I was in the gym. I got to stare up and down. He went, "What's up, man?" and walked away. And I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting between us, And so I actually didn't get to work with him for a week. He avoided me. And one day they said, yeah, he did. I was like, hey,
intimidated. Yeah.
He threatened him.
That's the crew. I'm like, hey, is something wrong with this guy? They're like, no, it's just him. One day we got to work together, and he was like, yo, you going with me? I was like, yeah, let's go. And believe it or not, we hit it off. And we started talking, and because I came from public works where I was already doing half the jobs or installing culverts and this and that, I had a lot of stories to share with him. And believe it or not, he could keep up with them. So we ended up realizing we're very competitive with each other. So I knew he was going to get promoted. He's a very smart kid. And I was like, yo, wherever you go, if I get a chance, I'll go with you. So sure enough, he got promoted, and he's running the culvert inspection program. And then I started basically just unofficially running the stormwater crew. And he called me, he says, hey, I'm getting my own crew. I want you to come along, this and that. I'm like, I'm game on, let's go. Anything from getting dirty and this nasty stuff sprayed on me. So plus I get a cool polo out of it too. And so yeah, so I ended up getting the job, I earned it. But so during the whole process, he talked about rock climbing, and he knows I'm in the gym and I'm always up for any challenge. But at that point, COVID hit. So we got canceled from training like the day before our flight. So yeah, we were a little sad. But, when one door closes, another one opens. The USA program comes in. And he's like, let's go for it. And like I was telling you guys last time, I'm his hype man. Whatever he wants to do, let's go. Like, if I get to go travel the state, let's go for it. It's free vacation, learning experience, and I get to meet all kinds of new people. which ended up happening. Going up from
no stranger to getting in trouble.
Yeah. So it worked out.
Another webinar, right?
Right. So sure enough, the rock climbing opened up. We got sent up for our first one, which was fun. And yeah, I had my first fall there. Being short, I stepped into a hole on the side of the hill. I mean, on the side of the cliff. Well, I'm glad I got padding on my backside. It didn't hurt much, but it was like super fun. But out here in 12, we only have so many cliffs, and really didn't get to do much with it until this last year when Anthony, Angel, and myself, we all got to go up together. And that was, I think, one of the best times ever rock climbing. Being with all the instructors, they just teach so well, making it fun, and then battling ourselves. Like I said, me and Anthony were very competitive, so it was always just trying to who could do better, who could do this and that. But yeah, it was great. And then finally we come back, and we get to do our first climb here in 12, and it was really exciting, and all the attention we got from our managers and, other crews and stuff. And then they realized that code inspection does really work. We just don't run robots. Yeah, that's why we're here today. And I feel that if anyone else wants to do it, they just have to apply themselves, But yeah, especially when you got a good training program. So that's pretty much it for me.
No, thank you for sharing. I love that not only did you see an interest in kind of the work you were doing, but the camaraderie you guys seem to have. I mean, obviously there's a lot of banter. We've been meeting with you guys a little bit. We see the banter. There's definitely a friendship there. But, so that's really awesome to see. And then also you're like, I don't care what I do, I want to work with this dude. Like you guys just bond. It's like that's great. And then we've seen some people in the chat being like, these guys are going places, love seeing what they're doing. So like you guys are a great duo that's doing big things. So it's great to hear too. There's a lot of
people we see in the chat that we know, so they kind of know how we are. So
there you go.
They probably got better stories than what we can tell.
But speaking of training, you mentioned that you fell. So was it Matt that trained you, or?
I blame that one on Wendy. Wendy trained me.
It was my fault, though. It was my fault. I was trying to show off to my coworker Angel, and I really stepped in like the wrong spot. So I'm just glad his phone was in his pocket at that time.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
It wasn't bad though. It was just an error, but it was fun.
Obviously, I'm just kidding. But Matt, that was my little segue into asking you about how you fell into this career path. So nicely put, right?
Yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
So yeah, I started in 2008, and when I started at the time, my boss was Grant, and I showed up to work one day, and he said, "Hey, you're going to a class," and I said, "Oh, okay. What class is it?" And he's like, "Oh, you're going to learn how to rock climb." And then I told him, I was like, "I really don't like heights," and he said, "I really don't care." And he said because he needed somebody to climb with, and everybody else in our group wasn't climbing, and so I kind of got forced into that. And then go ahead, like 4 years later, another one of the branch chiefs came in and said, "Hey, you're going to take a class," and it was me and one of my coworkers, Ron. And he said, "You're going to take a class next week." And I was like, "Oh, what class is this?" And he's like, "You're going to learn how to be an instructor for rock climbing." And I was like, "What if I don't want to?" And he said, "I don't care." So I kind of got thrust into this whole rock climbing thing, but I'm really happy I did because it really is one of those great things for your career. It's something fun. And the other nice thing too is that you get to work with everybody throughout the state. So a lot of times if you're stuck in a district and you're working just in, like, let's say D12, you don't meet anybody from anywhere else. But I get to work with people from 1, 9, 4, everywhere throughout the state. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of nice to meet all these different people from different areas. So I would highly recommend, if you had a chance to take the class. It's all about safety, it's all about camaraderie, and it's all about doing the best job you can for Caltrans. And I think it's fantastic, and I would highly recommend anybody that wants to try to get in.
Yeah, phenomenal. I love that you say it's kind of connecting Caltrans as a whole, right? We're obviously statewide, and it's making it available so much. And I love that you shared that you were not exactly thrilled to get involved in this, and now you're thriving in it. So it just goes to show, it's almost like with the right leadership pushing you out of your comfort zone, you're like, okay, I'll take it on, and now you're forcibly or more encouragingly so, now you're in the right spot, right, and doing what you do. So
Yeah, no, and it is funny. So I started out in West. Office of Geotechnical Design West is really based out of District 4, but, they work in 1 and 5. And we didn't do that much scaling in that area, but when I got promoted to come down to LA, it's, I probably scaled maybe 100, 150 hours in West, and I got down to, LA, and I've probably been here for 3 years and scaled like, 500 or 600 hours. So just the amount, and the rock type's different, so just the amount of scaling that is done in this area alone is exceeds like anything that I had up north. And Rudy and Anthony and Wendy, actually, they all helped me out. They've come over to D8 and helped us out a lot and stuff like that, so that really works out well.
nice. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Okay, so Wendy, you as well. How did you get into this? You've been in this for quite some time, so tell us your
Sure.
story and what intrigues you about this area.
So for a little bit, I mean, it was in District 4, we had this project, which was Devil's Slide, and that was the first time I had ever been exposed to the climbers. And they went ahead and scaled up on the slope, and I believe they blew some rocks down in order to stabilize the slope. And I thought, okay, put that in the Rolodex, put that in the back pocket. I need to ask about that. And it was a banner year. We had a bunch of storms that year, and I went down and was asked to assist down in District 5 because they were getting a lot of slides, and my colleague down there happens to be a climbing instructor. So I went down there and I was monitoring a fast-moving slide in Santa Barbara, and then when I was coming back up after we were done, he asked me to stop at his project, and I said, cool. And he was very grateful for the assistance and everything else, and he said, I don't know how to repay you. And I said, well, basically your wife's cookies are really payment enough, right? But I would really like to try the climbing class. If you can kind of pull that off, that would be great. And when I had pulled off and met him at his project site, there happened to be another gentleman there who was the senior engineering geologist at the time for our projects, and his name is John Duffy, and he was one of the co-founders for the climbing program in the 80s. And he looked at me and he said, well, Wade happened to tell me that you're interested in something. And I said, yeah, if I could just kind of slide into the climbing program and see if it's kind of my bailiwick or whatnot. And I did happen to tell him that I was afraid of heights as well. And he said, well, whenever you're ready, come on up. And I did it, and never looked back. I mean, it was such an adrenaline rush the first time I came on. I was on rope, and I was sitting right atop of a 30-foot vertical wall. And yeah, it was just absolutely amazing. And in my presentation, my PowerPoint, you'll see that there's the first wall that you have to actually, as part of the task for becoming certified, is a 90-foot vertical wall. And I remember going down that the first time, and my colleague was with me, Wade, and he actually we rappelled together. And he kind of shook his head once we got to the ground. He said, you never stop smiling from the time you hooked up to the time you got to the ground. And I said, dude, I want to do this. And committed. And I committed to it. Committed to the volunteer program. And it's been the best 17 years of my whole career. So.
Love it. Wow.
Yeah, so amazing.
Because you really picture yourself though when you're talking about like dropping down these 90-foot cliffs or whatever. That's intense.
We'll have to get you up. We'll have to get you guys up.
Right. Yeah. Right.
The coolest training program that we offer in Caltrans. It's just so much fun, but it is not easy. It's not easy physically. Yeah. And that
first take a field trip, Harriet.
The first time you go up the edge, you can't control your legs. They just shake. Like you're just like,
oh my gosh.
Get a hold of yourself and trust your equipment and gear. And that's what they do so well up there. The instructors, they just do an amazing job at getting you comfortable and unconsciously competent, I think is the right word.
Unconsciously competent.
And we just posted a video of Anthony rappelling down Kingville on the Caltrans LinkedIn page. If you're not following us there, that was posted a couple of posts back, but it's a nice little short video of him rappelling down that training academy.
Nice. Speaking of, I think there's a lot of people in the chat that are interested in getting into this field. So, Laura, I don't know if you saw any questions that you particularly want to pick up on.
There's a lot of questions. There's so many questions. And of course, we always don't have all the time to go through all the questions, but I did see a fun question in there. They're asking if you guys have seen any type of wildlife, such as rattlesnakes, bird species, and other things when you're scaling. Any like cool stories like that to share?
Yes.
For animals in culverts, I think.
Oh yeah, that's
Then up there on the slopes.
That is so true. Yeah. A lot of it is snakes. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is snakes.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you knock a rock off, everything leaves. So.
Yeah, definitely scary.
Right.
So I could speak towards people who are interested in getting in. The biggest part is getting your management, getting support from your management. So if you don't have support, it's really tough. If you do, just keep pushing. But
you signed. Anthony, you signed up through. There's a actual class, and it's on LMS. So most of the time, if it's not in your job description, you can't take the class. Every once in a while, we'll make an exception, but it's LMS. I think it's rock. Wendy will know too. Rock scaling, bank scaling, rock climbing, beginners, and that's if you've never done it before. So
some people have asked the question in the chat, like if anybody knows the LMS code. I don't know if you guys know the actual code, but in this chat during this webinar, I'm also going to be putting in the email and the LinkedIn links to connect with Matt and Anthony on LinkedIn as well. That you can follow up with them on maybe those codes or the classes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was 100,392. At least that might be the advanced code for the advanced course.
I think you're right. It's 103. It's 103,392, I believe.
339, something like that. Yeah.
We can confirm with you guys, and we'll send that out in the email internally. So we'll get that information out with the recording. That would be nice. Then you guys will be bombarded, and your classes will be full for years. So there you go.
They're already full.
They're already full. They're already full.
So there's a couple questions here about how do you make the decision on what rock to remove, scale on a slope versus what should remain? What can you tell us a bit about that? See, Wendy, you're nodding your head. Do you want to take that one?
So I'm gonna go ahead and defer to Matt.
We're gonna defer to Matt. They're the geotech professionals.
So a lot of times it's maintenance that calls us to call us out because they think a rock is in precarious or going to fall, and then we get called out as geotech. I'm a geologist, so it's kind of in my wheelhouse, and then we go out and survey it. If I think it needs to come down, then we set up a team and go out and get it done. Sometimes I'll get called, and it'll be the same rock over and over, and people are just saying that's coming down, and we at those kind of things we'll rappel down and check out to see what the rock is like. Anytime you're on ropes, you always have traffic control. We all know that. But we'll rappel down and see if the rock is going to come down or not. And if it is, then we'll bring it down. If it's not, then we'll just say no. And we had one site on Highway 2 that we kept on getting a call about these two rocks over and over and over again. And so finally at a certain point I was like, all right, we're done. I'm sick of running out here every 3 months to look at these same rocks that have never moved. And we just went out and took it down, and we just finished scaling that one when was that, November, Wendy?
Yeah, October, November.
Yeah, so that's, and I don't even think we're done with that, so we'll probably have to go back at a different date and do some more out there. But, and that's the kind of thing. It's mostly, it's experience a lot of times, but maintenance typically is the ones that notice if there is a problem, and then we'll just go out and check it out and help it out. Maintenance does all the heavy lifting on geotech. I'm not as in shape as those two guys.
Well, that was a great question, and thank you for sharing those insights. And it's great. Obviously, we're a team at Caltrans. We have so many different hats. You guys mentioned this is just one of the hats that you wear, but it's great to hear that you work in collaboration with our maintenance teams. Obviously, you guys are really there's a lot of moving parts to make all this happen. You mentioned like road closure. There's like so much to it, and this actually leads nicely into the next question that we have prepped, which I'm going to kick to Laura to ask, because I know a lot of people are curious about this. So go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, the next one's going to be fun. So next question is like, when you are climbing, the days that you're doing your climbing, what does that day look like? And like, who are you working with? Give us like an idea of what that looks like from, start to ending. But during this segment of the webinar, if you could also put up your footage that you guys have to share. Anybody want to volunteer to start from the panelists who'd like to go first? Put your footage up, photos, and talk about what the day looks like in climbing. Or should I pick somebody?
You guys, one of you. I went first last time.
Okay, so how about we'll go and go with Anthony and with Rudy, the duo back there with all the cool props. How about you guys? Yeah.
I was going to say, and then speaking of the props, there's actually a couple questions if you could talk about them.
Yeah.
Too. So while you
guys are welcome to talk about the props on the table, or if you want to put up your footage you want to share and your photos, feel free. It's like show and tell segment. So what do you guys want to share with us and our audience?
Oh no, let's share videos first. That way we can stay on the rock climbing topic.
Very awesome.
But the drones do play a big integral part in prepping for the work and organizing and getting some reconnaissance. So let me share my screen. Audio.
Let me add, if you're flying the drone, that means you don't have to work.
Oh, on a rock. He's talking about on a rock climbing. He's talking about on a rock climbing day. I'll take a break halfway through and I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna get some videos and pictures. But really, I'm like exhausted.
Anthony's also the photographer, yes.
Yes.
All the great shots. And you can talk us through this, Anthony. What are we looking at?
Right here, we're in District 8. Let me...
And there's the video of you scaling down that's up on LinkedIn. That's awesome.
Yeah, so back to your question, there's a lot of coordination involved with maintenance, traffic control. We'll take a good week or two just kind of preparing the job. Like here in this video, we have one lane open still. So one lane's live, but we have a flag in operation. So we'll let traffic go for about 10 minutes and then we'll stop for 10 minutes. We'll block all traffic, knock down rocks like you're seeing here. And then maintenance will come through with a loader and some dump trucks and load up all the rocks, or at least clear the one lane that's live, and then they'll let traffic go again. And luckily, our culvert inspection team, we have 9 or 10 guys any given month, but here in Ortega, you'll see on the left side of that slope, there's no easy way to hike up there. We basically had to trailblaze through shrubs and I don't want to say poison oak, the wild basically.
Yeah.
So we had a whole group just blazing a trail for us to get us to the brow of the slope, and then we can anchor off onto trees and perform our work like you see here. Sometimes it takes 2 of us. Sometimes I think Matt, you have a video of you just throwing rock. You're throwing a rock at a boulder and it falls. I'll let you share that one. That one was cool.
No, that one will not be shared.
That one we're not sharing, Anthony.
That one you're not sharing. Okay.
No.
My fault.
Peepholes you guys have there. What are these?
Yeah, those are just aluminum rock bars, and we went with aluminum because they're super light, as opposed to like a big crowbar that's iron.
Yeah.
You're gonna take your lunch up there with you, right? When you're climbing, you're gonna be up there for a while.
Did we take lunch? I don't remember taking breaks.
Yeah, it's a long day.
It's a long
day.
Yeah. Once you're up on slope and on anchor and on your rope, you're going to be there for the rest of the time. So
You're committed.
Some incredible footage there and photos. That's awesome.
This is our training wall that Wendy was talking about. I believe it's like 30 feet or so plus, right, Wendy?
This is Kingville.
that's more like
I would
90.
say plus.
That's our big wall. That's our big wall. That's the
Talking
first
about
step.
bunny slopes. That's fine.
Yeah. We do have bunny slopes.
Yeah, that
Sorry.
is Kingville.
Yeah.
It is
The
Kingvale.
Kingville Training Academy. Okay.
Correct.
And how often are
Oh.
there training classes?
What was
Dude,
that question?
Oh, so there was a question in the chat too, like how often are the training classes?
Wendy?
3 weeks out of the year, 2 sessions every week. So we have 3 days, basically 2.5 days, where we have a set of students, and then once Wednesday, by Wednesday afternoon, we'll have a new set come in for the rest of the week. So 6 sessions total. 2 of them are for beginners, and then the other 4 for the rest of the year are for refresher, which is level 2 climber.
And how long do they
And we
last
have-
for each class?
Sorry.
It's usually 16 hours, right?
16 hours, correct.
Yeah.
16 hours.
We have started doing classes regionally too. So I think District 4 has done a couple. We've done a couple down in 8 and in 7.
Right.
District 7, District 8, sorry.
Yeah, so COVID really kind of screwed us up with, obviously not being able to get together. So we realized that because there's just so much demand for the classes that we needed to do something regionally. And so Matt spearheaded a program in D7 and D8, which was really great. And then we kind of followed suit in District 4.
Yeah, this is awesome footage and just beautiful, gorgeous to be outdoors, see all this landscapes and
Exactly.
beautiful.
See, Laura, you're always out in nature. You'd be great at this.
I would love to do that. I've done some zip lining, but yeah, I don't know. This looks scary, like they said, out of your comfort zone, but it looks so fun.
Oh, it's
In this picture, I don't know if you can see it, but this is the advanced training course where they'll teach us aerial rescue techniques here.
And so the aerial rescue involves you actually picking off
Wow.
a second climber
That's an
and
amazing
transferring them
photo.
onto you. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing aerial rescue. I remember seeing this photo and just like, wow. And that's Rudy. That's Rudy right here that's in our panel. So he's
And that's on the big wall. So that's
Yeah.
90 footer. So, or the 30 footer according to Anthony.
Yeah.
paying off Rudy and Anthony. All right.
Yeah, Laura and I were joking that you all are like the firefighters of Caltrans. You're like PTA, This is great work.
Great. If you're game, I'm ready to go do a field trip. So
I'll take pictures. You can get up on the wall.
I love it.
Do it.
One of the funnest parts of training is right here. This is Donner Summit. Donner Lake, Donner Summit, and Alan Sharon right here. He'll take you for a nice hike. It's a mile plus, right? Just a 30.
It's only a quarter.
I know.
It's a quarter mile.
I'm
Can't
like
get an
gasping
altitude
for
if
air,
you
like,
lose everything.
how's it a quarter mile? But what he
Like
does is
15-mile hike in.
It's even shorter, I think. Even shorter.
It's so bad. No.
So Alan will stop right here at this little summit and he'll give a nice little presentation on the evolution of transportation that you could kind of see where you have Indian trails and old Western wagon trails.
Cool.
And then you'll have the train tracks come through the mountain here.
Wow.
What was this route, I-80?
Yeah.
Is that
That's
not 80?
Donner Lake
That's-
Road.
Is it
Donner
40? The old Highway 40?
Old Highway 40.
I think.
Okay.
And then the new highway, I believe, that cut through the mountain this way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can pretty much see the whole evolution of transportation, which is really neat. And Alan Sharon does a great job leading that.
It's beautiful.
Mm.
How about for anybody else on the panel want to talk about what your day's like climbing, when you do get to climb? When do your Matt want to go, or
You want to go,
any
Wendy?
other footage or photos you guys want to share?
I'll go ahead and stop so you guys can. show some of your stuff.
You want to go, Wendy?
Sure. Let's see how it all works out technically, right?
Remind us how long you've been doing this, Wendy, climbing?
17 years now.
Wow.
So 6 years was as a beginner, just trying to get a lot of experience under the belt, and then I was asked to become an instructor in 2012. So it's been almost 12 years there.
Yeah, amazing. Are you able to make this a little bit bigger on your side, Wendy? Like a full, put it in presentation mode maybe, or?
Right of your screen, you'll pop it in. Just like in the
Bottom right of this screen. Sorry.
Your PowerPoint, there's like, it looks like a little volume.
Don't worry if you're not familiar, but go ahead. Share away.
Yeah, go ahead and just click on them. There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Wow, so that was your first rappel picture.
Actually, yeah, it was. Actually, we'll start with the big wall. I'm just going to talk about really the training. Most of my videos are really about the training. This is the big wall. This is the first task that you have to complete to become a level 1 climber in the beginning class. And it's a straight rappel off the 90-foot or so vertical wall. And then my first rappel, when we talked about how it was an adrenaline rush, really, when I first went off this hill, and not able to wipe that smile off my face once I got to the ground. So
Did you scream?
and then, and we both, there's a common factor, right, between at least Matt and I, is that we had a fear of heights, and this was definitely the way to kind of get over that, really. So and this was kind of cool. Anthony had it on there. This was my first refresher class, so I'm doing a rescue. My victim is just below me. And he had touched on going to the gym and everything else, so I had started a lifestyle change, really, and I started losing about, I don't know, at the time before I started class, my first rappel, I had lost like 50 pounds.
Wow.
And once I decided to stay committed to the program, I lost another 20 just before this class. So yeah, I mean, talk about influencing, really.
Definitely a lifestyle change.
Oh, absolutely. And it was such, and it was a great decision, obviously, because I wanted to stay in the program and I wanted to be committed and volunteer for the program. Such
an inspiration. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. And this is why I love the beginners class, and I love all our climbers, because they're just as excited in being in the program as well. So, I mean, anyway, Matt and I and all the instructors can actually kind of assist that and help them succeed in the program. I mean, that's what we like to see. So this is the overhang. It was another part of the training in Kingvale. This has, once you get over the edge, you see the student right at the edge. Once you get over there, there's no way you can plant your feet onto the slope. So you're basically swinging, rolling in this position once you get on the rope. So this is another fun part of it.
So fun.
It's making my heart race just listening to it.
Yeah.
So this is, as Anthony was showing, this is our rescue. This is our level 2 climber. She's actually has already picked off her victim, and she's getting her safely down to the ground. That's the biggest task for our level 2 climbers to pass. And then Anthony already showed, again, Donner Lake is one of our training parts for the climbing program or training spots. And we actually have 3 rappels off this hillside or this slope. And they actually involve like basically three rappels of about 100 feet or so. So beautiful view.
Incredible.
And our other training spot was Loch Laven, which is close by to Kingvale as well. And as you're backing up on this picture, as you're backing up to the edge, it's a 80-foot vertical drop. So
I think we need to join them, Harry. We need to come and be the photographers, right?
You know, you keep saying that, Laura. I will support you in that.
Yes.
You'll have to come to class, definitely. And this was great. This was on LAO2 just recently, October, November, as Matt was saying. These women had this one rock that was just sitting on the edge, and they were able to get it to move and get it to the roadway.
Probably such a rewarding feeling, right? To knock this huge boulder off the mountain, you know, like.
Oh,
Wow.
absolutely. Especially when you look at it and you think, oh, there's just no way that's going to move.
Yeah.
And
So
then this
empowering, right?
happens, right? So
You get to share this with your friends and family, and then they're like, yeah, so inspiring. So cool.
There was
Let's
a
see if
question
we
about
can
the use of like explosives.
Play
Do you
that
all
one.
ever
Wendy, play
deal
that
with-
one.
play this one. Let me play this
Yeah.
one. Sorry. Real quick. This is a really good one.
This might be the biggest rock we use a system called airbags, and it's just basically a like rubber or a Kevlar pillow that you inflate, and it could dislodge the rock. And if this one plays, is it playing, Wendy?
Yeah. Do you see it? No?
No.
Nope.
No.
No.
We're still seeing the slide that says perch rock.
Okay. Oh,
It might be behind your
Yeah, you
PowerPoint because
You
I
might need
think
to
it took
stop
you to
sharing
YouTube.
and reshare, because I think you might be just sharing your PowerPoint. So if you stop sharing and
Absolutely.
then
Oh, yeah.
share your screen
Copy
again.
that link, the link to your YouTube, and then stop sharing and put it in your browser and then reshare.
yeah. You guys are.
It's like,
Wendy, we got you. We got you.
Yeah. I don't know. Not doing.
The PowerPoint.
Oh.
Did we lose her?
hey, I have it up though if you guys want. I can.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You can show
yeah,
it.
thank you.
Yeah.
So I was asking, there was a question about the use of explosives. You mentioned like really big rocks. Do you guys ever deal with anything like that?
I have a video I'll show when I give my little speech.
You guys see this video?
No,
Nope.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay, we're up. We're up.
Wait,
There
there
we
it is.
go.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
So this video is actually up in Ojai area, and Alan, Sharon, Brian Stewart, and Junior, Alan, I forgot Alan Rogers. That's Alan right there. They were the ones that found this rock, and we had to bring it down. And Alan and Brian are two of the U.S. guys. I think Rudy and Anthony work with them a lot. And so this is a lot of times the hardest thing to do on these jobs is getting in, just hiking in. And this is pretty vertical, and you're carrying, anywhere from 60 to 100 pounds on your back just to get in. And that's why we have people like Alan Rogers, who is young. He's in his 20s, and he can carry all the heavy stuff.
Great drone footage too.
Yeah, great footage too.
Yeah, Alan's very good at his drone.
So it looks like those you guys got
Wow.
like what happened there?
So that's the airbag system. You inflate the rock. And all you're doing is getting it so it will move. And that rock was 12 feet by like 24 by like 8.
Scary.
Yeah, just
And so it
outstanding footage of this too.
And this is why you do what you do, because imagine if someone's driving by that, and
Gosh.
that's exactly why you do what you
Yeah.
do. My God.
Yeah.
And this stretch of road is they call it the gauntlet, as in you're driving through a gauntlet, and that's the reason why. It's because there's so many rocks that come down.
So what are they doing here, Matt?
So here they're drilling holes, and they're using they're still explosives, but it's kind of like a shotgun shell. They're filling the hole with water and then putting an explosive in. It's called a boulder buster, and then they blow it up. But it doesn't it's not like a really high explosive, so you don't get a lot of, fly rock, but it's enough that you can crack the rock. And at the end of this video, I think he shows an aerial view of it, and it looks pretty cool.
Amazing. I love the name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Just to see that, this is so amazing.
Yeah, so this is basically, they're just doing this to reduce it so they can move the rock.
Super cool.
Wow.
So I can show one more video. I don't know, we're kind of running low on time, but I can show one more video where we did some blasting up at the Arctic Circle on Highway 18 in San Bernardino County, if you want me to.
Yeah, sure.
Please,
I think we got like 6 minutes left, so yeah, we're definitely counting down, and we appreciate everybody putting the questions in the chat, and all the engagement is awesome. Unfortunately, we do only have an hour, but definitely want to end on a good video that you have, Matt.
So this is the Arctic Circle. This is filmed. It's filmed by a lot of people, but it's I think Eric Dion and Alan Sharon did most of the drone work on this, and Brian Stewart too.
And while you're doing that and have that up, I'm going to put in the chat really quick for anybody that's still here with us for our next episode, episode 6. I'm putting the link in there so you can register for that. That's coming up in February, and you get all the details when you click on that registration link.
Wow. Different angles on this is amazing.
I know. They did a good job on this video. That's all the explosive materials going up the top. I think Wendy helped set up the shots on top, and then this is us scaling after the blast has happened.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have a whole 2-hour segment for you all, because I still have so many unanswered questions. I know there's been a lot in the chat, so we will do our best to gather those together and try and get those answered for everyone. And yeah, we've got a couple of LinkedIn connections there in the chat too, if you want to connect with these guys and ask them your burning questions directly. And yeah, there's some questions about access to the videos. We can, we're working on an external website for CT Talks, but internally we will gather some of those links from you all and maybe list those with your recordings so that everyone can check those out. That would be awesome.
Yeah, also in the chat too, here included anybody here that's not with Caltrans currently, but interested in joining Caltrans, wanting to learn more about the careers and employment with us. There's some links in the chat there too.
You just book us for episode 7.
Right?
Right?
No, definitely. There's so much more. I want to talk about the innovation. I want to talk about the safety element. I want to talk about so much more. But we are running low on time. But thank you all for being here, for doing what you do. I mean, these videos and images alone are, you guys are superstars. Like, it's
keeping the public, the traveling public safe, you know, with all this work that you're doing, and just
this is,
you know,
really
it's funny. We're sitting here talking about how, you know, oh my God, it looks like so much fun and stuff like that. It's a dangerous job, and we just try to be as safe as possible when we're doing it. So if you just want to go out there to have fun, we're that's not what we're about. We're about, you know, being safe, and we're about working,
hard work.
you know,
But yeah, big shout out to you all and the maintenance crews, all our maintenance crews, anyone tuning in, you know, the maintenance work that we do in particular, any work that's out there on the roadways is so dangerous. Why do you think we put so much effort into our move over campaigns and our safety campaigns? It's such a big deal. You guys are real people. We want to keep you around. So I know I always look for the cone zone. I'm hoping that others will take that message through this or share with others, because it is such an important message. You all are doing this to keep others safe, so others need to do their part to keep people safe.
That's what's great about the webinars is Harry and I are able to introduce the different people from Caltrans, kind of give everybody an inside look of what it is you guys are doing and why you do it, you know, just everything behind it, just because, you know, a lot of that's not out there. So it's a nice little inside peek at that. We appreciate you guys all coming today and sharing all that footage and what your career path has been like with Caltrans, how much you love what you're doing. That definitely was conveyed here. So that's just awesome. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Thank you for letting us talk.
It's been a fun bunch. Yeah.
And as Laura said, our next episode is on February 28th. So if you would like to come back and join us for another exhilarating topic, this one's on equity, sustainability, and tribal affairs here at Caltrans. And if you have any suggestions for future topics, any area of Caltrans you're particularly intrigued about, contact us, dhr.communications@dot.co.gov, and we will do our best to get those scheduled out and reach out to the appropriate people. Internal people, external people, we love to hear from everyone. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, your feedback is so greatly appreciated. If you could please take a moment to answer our quick survey about how we're doing. It helps us to be better. It was great to hear from you all and get your questions incorporated throughout this episode. So thank you so much for the feedback, and please keep it coming for this episode as well. Thank you to our incredible panelists. It's really great to know you all now, because I feel like any of our past panelists know we don't just leave you be. We're not like, okay, wash our hands of you, we're done. No, you're friends of ours now, so we're going to tap you for content whenever we can and kind of reach out for more features. So thank you for connecting with us. Laura does a phenomenal job of sourcing all these different people. So big shout out to you, Laura. You always go so humble with all this stuff, but you do a lot of work behind the scenes to make these happen. So thank you all. I know it's a lot of fun too. So thank you all for being a part of this. Thank you all for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.